Good morning, students, and welcome to my virtual classroom. Today we'll be discussing about the remaining part of quadratic equation. So before proceeding, let me clarify a few things which was done in the previous class. I'll take you to the slide here. In our previous class of quadratic equation, I have shown you something. The examples of degree of an equation was the last example I was talking about, where I said that this particular equation has got only 2 degrees, which was wrong. That was my slip of tongue, and I will clarify this thing in today's class, that it has not got 2 degrees, it has got only 3 degrees. Okay, and the section was right here. So let me explain you how it has got 3 degrees. Now see here, in this particular equation we have got 2 variables. It is not single variable. The first variable is x and the second variable is y. If you check out the highest power of each variable, x is having 2 as the highest power in x square y, and y has got only 1 as the highest power. So if you add these 2 powers together, what you get is 3. So definition of degree is the highest power of the variable, right? So here in this case the variable used is 2, so in this case the degree will be 3, not 2. Alright, so moving to the next part of this particular chapter, we had discussed in our previous class about the roots of the quadratic equation. So first of all, there are 3 ways of solving roots of a quadratic equation. Okay, 3 ways are there. The first one was factorization method. Okay, here we have solution of a quadratic equation by factorization method. So we'll discuss about this topic in today's class. So the methods is already been given here in the slide. You can just copy this method down and you can practice at your home. Okay, whereas I will be discussing the other ways basically of doing, and in a very easy manner I'll be teaching you how to solve, how to find the solutions of a quadratic equation by factorization method. So we'll move to the example first of all to make it a little better to understand. The first example is given as 3x square plus 5x is equals to 2, right? 3x square plus 5x is equals to 2. 3x square plus 5x is equals to 2. The first and foremost thing which we have to do here is we have to bring this particular equation in the standard form of writing a quadratic equation. So how we will do that? 3x square plus 5x, it is plus here, so it will come to the left hand side to become minus. This method is called as transposition. Okay, so we are transferring the position of the constant to the left hand side to make it in a standard form. Alright, now next step is, and make sure that you put this implies sign for the new line. Okay, don't miss this, this is very important. So 3x square plus 5x minus 2 equals to 0. So factorization means what? We are trying to find the factors of it, right, by either prime factorization method or other methods which we have done in our previous classes, right? So here this particular question you already have practiced in your class, in class 8th and 9th as well. So the next step will start like this. First of all, we have to write 3x square and then plus sign, and then the last number is minus 2 is equals to 0. So plus minus becomes minus here. So we have got 2 gaps here, number 1 filling and number 2 filling. Okay, so we have to fill these 2 gaps. So what number we have to get here to fill this particular gaps? So in order to do that one, or in order to get that value, what we have to do, the next process is the coefficient, or you can take the entire thing, the first number, that is 3x square, and the last one, which is a constant, that is minus 2. First is 3x square and the last one is minus 2. So these two numbers, we have to find the product. Okay, after finding the product, we have to factorize that product. And after factorizing, whatever factors we'll get, we have to arrange in such a manner that after adding or subtracting, we should get the middle term. That's why it is also called as splitting the middle term method. We are trying to split plus 5x in such a manner that whatever value we get, okay, after taking the product of those values, we should get the product of A as well as C. Okay, A as well as C. Now let's go to the factorizing part here. So we get 3 to the 6 here, right? So factorize this. So what are the factors of 6 here? 2 3s are 6, okay, if you do prime factorization. So 3 2, if you arrange there, you will not get it. Okay, so what we had got, 3x square plus and minus 2 here, right? Plus minus is minus. So if you take 3 and 2 here, you will not get 5. Suppose if you could take 3 and 2 here, 3x and 2x, you will not get 5. How? Because plus minus becomes minus. 3 to minus 2 is 1. So we have to think of some other factors of 6, a pair of factors. So 6 has got another factor as the leftover factors is 1 and 6, right? So 2 and 3 is also a factor of 6, whereas 1 and 6 is also the factor of 6. So we'll arrange this 1 and 6 in this particular gaps. Let's see whether we get that value or not. Suppose if we write here 6x and here only x, that is 1x. Okay, so plus 6 minus x, that will give you how much? 5x, right? Plus minus is minus, so plus 6x and minus x becomes 5x. So we'll write next here 3x square plus 6x minus x minus 2 is equals to 0. Clear? Now next part is grouping it. So let's group it. The first group is this one, second group is this. So after grouping, we have to again factorize it. So you have to take the SCF of these two numbers first, of these two terms. So what is the SCF? So what is the SCF of 3 and 6? Is 3. And what is the SCF of x square and x? The least power of x becomes the SCF of these two numbers. So we have got x as the least power, having 1 only as a power. So x will be taken as common, or we call it common, you know. So 3x is taken out common. So what will be here in the first part, first term? 3 cancel, x square by x becomes x only, right? So 6x by 3x becomes 2. Now here we'll take minus common. X and 2 has got only one factor, right? It becomes a co-prime here, having SCF as only 1. So minus x and minus 2 does not have anything as common, right? So 1 will be the SCF of these two particular numbers. So we'll take minus 1 as common. So next will be, inside will be x plus 2. Now again there is a sign of separation here, minus. So we'll see the first and the last one. Again we have got something as a common factor here. So x plus 2 and x plus 2 here, both the sides. So x plus 2 will write here. And what is remained in the bracket? From here we have got only 3x remaining, and from here minus 1. So we'll write 3x minus 1, which is equals to 0. Now we will be concluding with the answers. We'll directly go to the equational part now. So x plus 2 and 3x minus 1. X plus 2 is equals to 0. So x equals to minus 2. 3x minus 1 equals to 0. So 3x is equals to plus 1, and that implies x is equals to 1 by 3. So we have got two solutions here. The first solution is x equals to minus 2, and second solution is x equals to 1 by 3. So these two solutions of quadratic equation, that was 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. So this is how we find it, or find the value, or find the solutions of the quadratic equations by factorization method, right? Now moving to the next part now. The next is finding the solutions of quadratic equations by completing the square method. Solutions of a quadratic equation by completing the square method. Alright, just copy down all these steps here. Okay, and what I will be going to teach you, that is quite easier steps, okay, which we have to follow, and that is accepted via board also. We'll take an example to make us understand this thing better way. Okay, completing the square method means what? Before we go to the example, let me brief you about what does completing the square method means. So completing the square means we are trying to complete an incomplete square. The square, whatever equation is given, that is not completed, so we have to complete the square of that particular equation. So in this particular method, two formulas are used, two identities, not formula, two identities are used, algebraic identity. The first one is a plus b whole square, and second is a minus b whole square. So what is the value if you just try to take the product of a plus b multiplied by a plus b? What you get here is a square plus 2ab plus b square. Similarly, for a minus b whole square, a square minus 2ab plus b square. So we are using these two formulas, right? A plus b whole square and a minus b whole square. So how do we get that one? Like if we get the questions which is incomplete square, how do we complete that part? So we'll take that example first of all. Okay, the example is x square plus 6x plus 7. All right, I'll solve this equation for you. X square plus 6x plus 7 is equals to 0. Let's proceed with this particular, finding the solutions of this equation. So how do we go about that? First of all, we have to see the constant part of this particular equation. The constant is plus 7, right? So first step is shift or transpose this plus 7 to the right hand side. So we get x square plus 6x is equals to minus 7. Now next step. Now if you see here is the catch. First of all, we have to understand and have our focus here. X square, after x square, what is the sign? It is a plus sign, right? So after x square is plus sign, means it will fall in the category of which identity? A plus b or a minus b? It fall in the category of a plus b whole square. Now see, x square plus, what was the formula? A square plus 2ab plus b square. So I'll write here a square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay, this is the formula. So we got a square as x square. Now we have to get 2ab, okay, so that we can get the value of b also. So what's next? We have got 6x here. Let us try to find 2ab here. So here is 2, so I'll write 2. Then we have a. So what is a here in this particular equation? A is x. So what will be b? Now to get b, we have to see here this term 6x. How to get 6x means, what I mean to say here is, what number should we place here in this place, what number to be placed here, so that after multiplying with 2x we get 6x. Now think about this particular number. The number will be what? Let me give you the answer. It should be 6 by 2. Is it 6 by 2? Or we can write 3 only. 6 by 2 or 3? Because if you multiply 3 with 2, you get 6, isn't it? So instead of writing 6 by 2, you can write only 3. Right. Now if you multiply 3 with 2 and x, you get 6x. So what additional you have done here? What you have done here is, you have taken in place of b as 3. Okay. Now your work is done. That is the final part of understanding and thinking. The moment you get this one, this particular number, you just have to imagine for a number. Okay, the moment you get that, that means your work is done. Completing the square method is done. Now 3 is the b part. So you got 2ab. So 2 is there. A is also there, that is x. And b you have taken as 3. You have taken b as 3 so that after multiplying you get 6. Now you have to write plus here. Next is b square. So what you have taken b as 3, so you'll write 3 square. Now till here, till this part, everything remains same as this. Additional, what you have done, plus b square, that is plus 3 square. So if you add something to the left, you have to add something to the same thing to the right as well. That is part of the linear equation. Okay, that is part of the equation. Not only linear equation, that is part of equation. If you do some changes in the left hand side, you have to do the same change to the right hand side. So that becomes is equals to minus 7 plus 3 square. Minus 7 plus 3 square to the right also as well. Now next will be, now this whole thing becomes the formula, like it will take the formula of what? A plus b whole square, where a is x and b is 3. So x plus 3 whole square, which is equals to minus 7 plus 3 3s are 9. Now let's go to the next part now. X plus 3 whole square is equals to minus 7 plus 9 is 2. Minus 7 plus 9 becomes 2. Now shifting this square to the right part, you get a square roots. So x plus 3 is equals to plus minus square root of 2. Next would be x plus 3 is equals to the square root of 2. We get two equations here because here is plus and minus sign. So with plus and then with minus. And x plus 3 is equals to minus square root of 2. Now just transpose this plus 3 to the right hand side and you will get the solution. I'm leaving this for you, okay? You find the solution and just let me know. Post your answers on our group which we have made. Last part of finding the roots of the equation, quadratic equation, is by formula method. That is solutions of a quadratic equation by formula method. So here we have to consider the same thing, that is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. That is the standard form of quadratic equation. Alright, and how this formula, the formula which we are using and which we have to use instead, how do we get that formula? We'll see here. Okay, first of all, ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. Here we have to apply the same completing the square method. Okay, we have to apply what? Completing the square method. Just look into the steps, okay, and you'll get to understand. Here bx square plus b by ax plus c by a equals to 0. They have divided both sides by a. Why they have divided both sides by a? Just see here. First is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. This is the equation. Okay. Now the coefficient of x square is a. Okay, the coefficient of x square is a, so we have to remove this a first of all. Okay, in order to remove a, we have to divide both sides by a. So from, if you divide each term of this particular equation, the left hand side equation, by a, what you get here in the first part is x square, then bx by a will be what? B by ax, and then c plus c by a is plus c by a is equals to 0. Right. Now the way we have said in the previous part of this topic, how to complete this square. So constant term, that is c by a, will be shifted to the right hand side, becomes minus c by a. So x square plus b by ax minus c by a. Now to complete the square on LHS, we are adding b by 2a whole square to both the sides. Okay. Now b by 2a whole square you are adding. Why to add b by 2a whole square? To complete the square method. Why we are adding? The way I have taught you in the previous part of this formula. Okay, previous part of this topic, solutions of quadratic equation by formula method. Just go through that, okay, and just check how and why we need to add this b by 2a whole square in this one. You'll get the answer. Okay, so moving to the next part here. So x square plus b by ax. So x square plus b by ax plus b by 2a whole square. So this will give you the formula of x plus b by 2a whole square. Okay, and then if you add plus b by 2a whole square to the left, we have to add to the right also, which is already written here. Then after evaluating, what you will get, x plus b by 2a is equals to, because you are shifting the square, so it becomes plus minus. Okay, shifting the whole square, here it was whole square, if you shift this whole square to the right, so it becomes what? It becomes plus minus 2a here, plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. It was here 4a square, so it becomes only 2a after coming out of the square roots. Now plus b by 2a here will be shifted to the right, it becomes minus b by 2a. Alright, so minus b by 2a and this 2a will be taken as common. So common is 2a and minus b on top, plus minus the square root of b square minus 4ac. So x is equals to minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac. That means what? It also has got two solutions. The number one will be alpha is equals to minus b plus the square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a, and beta will be, just change this sign, this plus becomes minus with second solution. Okay, and this square root of b square minus 4ac is nothing but a square root of d. Okay, so b square minus 4ac is nothing but discriminant of this quadratic equation formula here. To solve this example, just solve this example, don't look into the answer first, and try to solve this question by formula method. And if you face any problem while solving, just let me know. The most important part of this, where board questions also come, like to find the nature of roots. Okay, whether they have real and unequal roots, or real or equal roots, or unequal and imaginary roots. So we have to check on the d, the first of all, that discriminant d. So I'm talking about this discriminant, which is like b square, which is equals to b square minus 4ac, where b is the coefficient of what? What is the coefficient? Whose coefficient is b? That is the coefficient of x. A is the coefficient of x square and c is the constant term, right? So we have to first of all check what is d. What is the value of d? If you get d as more than 0, if the value of d, that is discriminant, is more than 0, you will get a real and unequal roots. Means the roots or the solutions what you will get will not be equal. Two different answers you will be getting as a solution. Whereas if d is equals to 0, if discriminant is equals to 0, in that case you will get real and equal roots. And for less than 0, b square minus 4ac is less than 0, you will get unequal and imaginary, because in a square roots, okay, by putting the value of d in a square root, you get something in negative, okay, and this negative goes with imaginary number, which will be taught in class 11th. Let's check out the example to understand the nature of roots here. The first example is x square minus 6x plus 9 equals to 0. You don't have to solve the entire part, okay, to get the solution of this. You just find the discriminant, excuse me, you just have to find discriminant, which is d is equals to b square minus 4ac, okay, and check what is the answer you're getting. If you're getting d equals to 0, then it is having what? Real and equal roots. And for next example, that is 3x squared minus 10x plus 3 equals to 0. If you get d as, you got d as 64, so 64 is more than 0, so it has got real and distinct or different roots, or unequal roots we can say. Whereas for this example, x squared minus 4x plus 7 equals to 0, here the value of d is minus 12, so it is less than 0, so here obviously it will be having imaginary roots, okay, you cannot define it there, it becomes imaginary. Class, this is the application problem. Just note down these application problem. We'll be having a different sessions on application problems so that we can understand each and every part of it, and we can make our things easier, okay. Solutions becomes easier, we have to follow certain steps. So you can apply any ways completing the square method if the questions are like that, or finding the solutions of equations by factorization method or by formula method, okay. Formula methods are chosen or preferred by each and every student because that becomes easier for them, okay. Just go through these questions, okay, and try to solve it and post your answers on the WhatsApp group. The numbers are already been given on the first page of this session. The classes are also going through Woob app, so you can join always and try to submit your answers on the classroom app. That's all, class. Here is the instructions which I'm always showing on every sessions through YouTube. Thank you very much, class, and hope we meet again with a new chapter and with new energy. Thank you very much. Have a great day.